Good evening. We're going to start the public power hour, and again, just some ground rules. At this point, I know we have one gentleman who has let us know that he will be speaking to us, and we have not had anybody else in advance, but I noticed a couple of folks are here, so we're going to be pretty flexible tonight. If somebody does want to ask us something after Joel comes down, feel free to allow you to come forward and speak. Again, as always, we don't make decisions here. This is informal. We're here to listen, take information. We'll post it on our website so you can be tracked. So at this point, Mr. Joel Osborne, if you'd like to come down here, sir. And as always, state your name and address for the record.
Joel Osborne. I live at 656 Railroad Avenue. And I have three areas of public safety concern that I've noticed. I thought I'd just express them to y'all and see what you could do, if anything. The first one's down at Riverside Village. As you leave southbound, the Swank, and then there's the new chop house they're working on. Right there, the concrete drops down one step by Swank. By the chop house going into where you can go into the Wild Club. And they have put a railing up there, but if you don't know it's there, I almost tripped and fell about 3 or 4 months ago. And I went to another game recently with a friend of mine, and he tripped and almost fell. It just steps down, and there's no way, unless you know and been down there before, it seems like it's awful easy. Somebody's going to trip and fall. So if something like a strip, a yellow strip or something to grab your attention.
Is it the whole sidewalk or just one part of it?
Well, it's not that. I went down there a while ago, and it wasn't as wide as I originally thought it was, but they do have a railing there now. But it's still, if it doesn't catch your eye, and it's just, and he almost fell, and if we did, we're pretty young guys, so I'm just concerned somebody else may trip and fall.
But that is a sidewalk where in front of Swank.
No, it's right where the chop house is, and then you enter there to go to the Wild, to go into the SRP.
Yes.
It drops down. It's just one step.
Oh, going into the Wild. Okay.
It's out on the sidewalk, though, in front of that chop house.
I got you. Okay.
So that was one area. The other area, two things, which I don't know if the city has any authority over this, but as you come down West Avenue, I know the last block from Clifton to Bluff is narrowed down, and I'm sure it was done to slow down traffic. I live in Hammond's Ferry, and it does slow down traffic to have narrow roads. But it's so tight there, if you have a truck and an SUV parked on both sides, which they have parking on both sides, it's very difficult to get through there. But that's okay. But my main concern is the North Augusta dance studios on the corner. Mm-hmm. And they have 300 to 400 girls, I think, that signed up, and they come to dancing at night, and especially in the winter, fall and winter time. And I go by there a lot, and sometimes the lights weren't changed, but now I think the lights are working. But you have a mother or father has a child in one hand and reaching in the car, and the door's open, and to me, it's a place that you've got to be concerned that kids going to run out in front of a car. And they aren't going that fast, but people, you know how aggressive people drive nowadays. So I'm just concerned if anything can be done there at that corner. Now, I understand maybe that Bluff Avenue may be at some point on the list to get it tied into the Greenway or do some construction down there.
It is.
And I don't know if any of that can be worked into there.
I'm curious, if you don't mind interrupting, have you had this conversation with Rachel, who owns the dance studio? I'm just curious, any type of feedback you've heard from them?
I talked to her about the lights, and she says she's put her own light up because she couldn't get people to change the lights. And they were out. I used to walk back that way from the ball game.
About the tree light, it's the city street lights?
Yeah, street lights.
Okay,
She put her own light because she said she wasn't getting enough lights from the city, and there's a cedar tree on the corner, and it may block some of the light, but it's, but I think they have replaced the lights when y'all said you're going to put, yeah, I think they have.
That should be, yeah.
But there was some concern, but she's got a lot of kids. I didn't realize that many were down there, and I was just concerned of that. And the third issue is coming down Bluff, because, I moved to Hammond's Ferry because I go down there a lot now, but there's an S-curve down at Crystal Lake. A lot of bushes kind of on the side, and there's no marking down the middle of the road. And people just, nowadays, they just take advantage, there's nothing to show where where the middle line of the road is. They've got a few of those little reflectors.
This is one answer we can give you. That is going to be fixed with the Greenway extension going up.
Well, there needs to be a line, something, so people going around that curve know what side of the road they're on.
Exactly, yeah, it's
And,
valid.
Bluff. Well, right where the Crystal Lake is located. You know, there's an S-curve. Now, there's an older couple that live up there, and she uses a cane, and she walks down the wrong side of the road, but she has walked down there a number of times. I hadn't seen her recently, and I was concerned that something might happen with her. But,
That will be corrected.
okay, that's it. Good.
Yep. Anybody else? Come on down, young man.
Fred Ilardi, 346 Shoreline Drive. Okay, before we start, I wanted to ask Mrs. Carpenter how her husband is doing. I read on Facebook that it was successful. Is he still doing well? Okay. You're very welcome. Secondly, I have the pleasure of living on the river, and this week, to some degree, was unpleasant. There is 3 or 4 speedboats that speed up and down the river. We're going to have a serious accident. We live with the value of this river. If anything happens on that river and anybody is injured, there are people leisurely riding up and down the river and doing fine. And then there's 3 or 4 speedboats that just constantly, and they did it for 2 days. I don't know if it's a one-time thing. I've seen them before. They race. They're doing probably 60 to 70 miles an hour.
This is individuals, not a race being held, just people who have speedboats who are just
They're
doing
not speedboats. They're those little motor scooters or whatever they're called.
jet skis?
Jet skis.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
I got you.
Personal watercraft.
Personal watercraft. Okay.
And this is the, Fred, if you might, this, you just, this is the first time in this week that, and it's all
Well,
day?
it was Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
And it's happened before, and I kind of ignored it, and I'm just concerned that somebody's going to get really injured, probably an innocent person, and somebody's going to say, well, why didn't somebody stop them? I don't know if you're capable of stopping them. We need to contact the river people or whatever. I don't know. I just bring it to your attention.
No, I appreciate it.
I
No,
know on the Augusta side, there's a jet ski rental place right there by the boathouse, and they have really picked up their business, so.
well, the Department of Natural Resources, and they patrol that river a lot during the summer, and 'cause I know I talked to them at the Earth Day. So, but of course, it's not summer yet, but that's very good. We can pass this information on. Thank you.
It was about 3 hours worth, so it wasn't just a casual thing. They were racing up and down and having a good old time.
We
And
can
I-
look into it.
Okay,
Thank you. That's good stuff.
Another compliment, I wanted to thank the city for having a police presence at Riverside Village. I saw the police cars when I passed, they parked there, and that's good. We all need to know that we're safe. And now, the rest of the story. I don't mean to be the complaint department, but one of my friends called us the city that has the most parking garages. And for whatever reason, we have a 600-car garage that sits on the top of the hill. That's for MEDEC. And when we purchased that, we were told that it was going to be used for the ballpark and for MEDEC. We have a stadium garage that houses, I believe, 600 cars. And then we have a hotel garage. So in total, 1,600 if I add correctly. I live on Shoreline Drive. When I come home at night, it is very difficult to get through, what's the name of the street? Right by the ballpark. Help me, somebody. Railroad. Thank you. There is a new parking lot adjacent to the parking lot that has been erected for the 600 cars.
The
For
left
whatever
of it.
reason, right adjacent to the bridge, cars are parked in there. They're parked on the circle to go into Riverside Village.
The one you're talking about is not even paved, it's like dirt, isn't it?
They're parked on the grass.
Takes you to Brook Pond Park. Okay.
Okay, we need to clear that out. We pay, if I recall, we paid $135 to $175,000 for parking meters. Somewhere along the line, are they working? I never see anybody parking there. Could we ever get a report on that? That would be nice.
They are working, I've not paid.
Pardon me?
I believe they're working because I've actually paid with them before. But no, I was not aware of that. I don't ever get on that side. Well, most employee parking's up at First Baptist and they take a bus down. But
Well, that's
thank
another
you for letting us
garage.
know. Yeah, but thank you for letting us know.
That's that gravel
The other
area.
thing is,
I don't know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first I've heard it.
That's the gravel
Exactly.
area that
Yes.
gives you access to the backside of the greenway and the ponds. But that was one of our concerns along the way, is when we put that there,
as an
there was no way to control it during a ball game. So I mean, the only way we really could monitor it is put a police officer there to say, hey, this is not
Sure.
ballpark parking.
well, maybe a sign and say you're going to be towed or something like that.
I think that's something we can work on.
Yeah.
This is good stuff, Fred, thank you.
Okay, so now I come down to my house and I pass the Medac parking garage and I see a sign, no stadium parking. How does that happen? Don't we own that garage? Don't we generate
I'm
revenue?
not sure where you're seeing that. I don't know what sign you're talking
I
about.
have a picture, I'll show you. I wouldn't
When are
come
you-
to this
When are you
meeting.
seeing it?
Pardon
When
me?
have you seen it? I'm trying, when have you seen it?
Probably 2 days ago. There was a sign in there, no stadium parking, proceed to the bottom of the hill. I mean, I think
Do you know what day it was?
I can
I think
probably,
that, I think that
I don't
what
know.
happens
I
is
can't
if there's another event going on, they might reserve that medic deck and direct them to down the hill
it was 600.
first.
It's a 600-car garage.
I know, but I think their traffic plan is to direct the ballpark deck first. I think the reserve parking is at the hotel deck, and then the third or secondary area is up at the Medac. But I think the only time they can do that, or they have the right to do that, I think, is when there's just another event going on. But
I mean,
I don't know.
I've seen people pulling in there early at ball games, so I think it must be very Pacific. I think David's
Yeah,
right.
now
I
I
just have not
parked,
seen that.
I parked there the other week, and they still got their little golf carts that pick us up and take us to the ball field, so no one told me not to
I will send you a
park.
picture of the
And
sign.
the date that it was, if you
And
don't
the-
mind.
and the date.
I think David's right. I think there's got to be something, because
Mm.
I haven't seen that. I think there's something happening of why that's not normally the way it's
Okay.
set up. But
I'm
we
happy
need
to
find
hear
that
that.
out.
We derive income from that. If we're not getting any income from
Understand?
that, that's not a good thing.
I'm with you. Thank you.
The last thing, I was checking a piece of property down there. I have a lot of spare time right now. I haven't.
See that?
And I'll mention it specifically. It was the clubhouse building, and it may be something that's valid. Last year, the taxes that they paid were $59,000. This year, the assessed taxes are $36,000, a drop of $23,000. What happened? That's the first question. And the second question is, they didn't pay their taxes this year. So, I mean, I just put it out there. There are probably 6 or 7 properties that still have not paid, you probably know better than I do, that they haven't paid their taxes from Riverside Village. Is this going to be an ongoing thing every year with them? I mean, they're supposed to be a solid citizen. I checked my taxes. My taxes were paid by the bank real quick. And I just something that sort of annoys me. Okay, so I think that's all, a lot of little complaints.
All good information, Fred. Thank you very much.
I try not to be a
You brought some good
complainer all the
information.
time, but we,
You brought some good
We
information.
all pay taxes.
We brought some good information, and we'll be back in touch with you.
thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Anybody up there else? Ms. McGee, you got anything you want to share? Yeah.
Open mic now,
First
right?
time we've had council. This is good.
I just had a couple questions that were brought to my attention.
He's a citizen.
I think I am. There
Go ahead.
was a couple things that were brought to my attention. Number one was, it was asked that if a group could put a blessing box over there by the Somerville Park, and I think a couple people have been asked about that. So I just wanted to officially ask that kind of question and see if we can get an answer to them on that. Putting one, I don't necessarily know if it means on the park or just in proximity of the park. So,
I don't know if that's something in the past PRT handles that. But I mean, I think it's a great idea.
okay.
Yeah, but we'll look into that. Blessing Bites in Somerville Park, good idea.
And the other thing that came to, was brought to my attention is down at the dog park, and I think we've talked about this before. It doesn't necessarily have a handicap access. So I'd like for us to try to look in to see if we can do something. I know it didn't have an official handicap access from the Greenway, but maybe we need to see how we can modify that to get as close as possible for special needs to get to the dog park.
Those are really good. Those are good, okay. Thank you, Dave.
Welcome.
Okay. All right, actually, this is a good public power hour. This is what it's all about, a good way to start off a new year, right? Okay, anything else for anybody? We're right at 1:45, so I'm gonna go ahead and call unless there's everybody good? All right, we stand adjourned, thank you. Evening, I'd like to call the City of North Augusta regular City Council meeting on May the 2nd, 2022 to order. And we remove the item 2, invocation pledge of allegiance. You are welcome to join me in prayer. Dear God, as we come together tonight to do the business of the city, we ask for your guidance and discernment. I ask that you continue to open our hearts and minds to what is shared tonight. Amen. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll do roll call from my left, please.
Eric Presnell.
David McGee.
Pat Carpenter.
Britton Williams.
Bob Brooks.
Jennifer McCauley.
Kevin Toole.
Okay, item 4, approval of minutes. Are there any corrections, deletions, or additions to the regular city council meeting minutes of April the 18th, 2022, or the study session minutes of April the 25th, 2022? Hearing none, they stand approved as distributed. Okay. I ask Ms. Kim if you'll meet me down front. How are you? Very nice. Good. You know, normally I paraphrase the information I'm given, but the person who nominated Kim for Employer of the Quarter, I thought just did a wonderful job, and I'm just going to read what was submitted, whoever this person is. I thought it was well done. As a PC support technician assigned to assist the city's public safety department, Kim has driven to public safety headquarters multiple times per week, every week, throughout this entire quarter. Kim has not once complained, has never hesitated to come to help, and has always been a joy to be around, no matter how simple or obvious the solution to our problems. Kim has helped us through an email transition, installed multiple new machines, diagnosed emergency dispatch problems after hours, and has installed equipment in new patrol cars. These few things are a short list of what Kim does for public safety on a regular basis. This quarter has been demanding of Kim, and she has risen to the occasion to go above and beyond her duties. The January through March 2022 quarter has been an example of how great an asset Kim is to the city of North Augusta, and it's further an example of how she conducts herself on a regular basis. Since she has been employed with the city, we have always known Kim to have a positive attitude and always to be willing to help any way that she could. And if I'm not mistaken, this is your second time as Employee of the Quarter, which is pretty fantastic too. So that says something to me, okay? So, Kim, this is North Augusta Employer of the Quarter Award to Kimberly Newcomb, January, February, March of 2022. Congratulations. Thank you for everything you do for us and what you've done the past quarter. It's wonderful. You want to come get a picture? Oh, yeah. I like that shirt. What you got that shirt say? League, okay, yeah. Come on in. I'll let those two. That'll be your Christmas card this year. Okay. You know, this is the first proclamation that we're reading to ourselves, and I can sit here and I don't have to, I'm not going to hand it to anybody, so it's kind of different. So National Travel and Tourism Week is May the 1st through 7th of this year. So the proclamation says, whereas travel, hospitality, and recreation reflect the power of travel in North Augusta, South Carolina, and our community's economic prosperity, and whereas the coronavirus pandemic devastated every sector of the travel industry with staggering lows in 2020 compared to 2019, and whereas North Augusta's hospitality and travel industry cannot recover without the full return of business and leisure travel as well as meetings and events, and whereas our hospitality and tourism business represent small business and are the fabric that make North Augusta memorable and are dependent and grateful for our community support throughout this pandemic crisis, and whereas visitors enjoy North Augusta's South Carolina's riverfront, experiencing the North Augusta Greenway, the Nike Peach Jam, Jack-O-Lantern Jubilee, Palmetto Peach Half Marathon, SRP Park, the many offerings of downtown and Riverside Village, and during the holidays, a Christmas tree lighting celebration. And whereas North Augusta presents unique and memorable offerings with exceptional dining, shopping, and beautiful views along the Savannah River, and whereas the power of travel and tourism will revive and is vital to move us forward to a more prosperous future. Therefore, I, Britton Williams, Mayor of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, do by here proclaim May the 1st through 7th, 2002 as National Travel and Tourism Week, and urge the citizens of North Augusta to join me in this special observance. In witness thereof, I have here and set my hand and cause the seal of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, to be affixed the 2nd day of May, 2022. So let's give a round of applause for our National Tourism Week. Very good. And our Tourism Director, Randy DeToe's up there. Thank you, Randy. What are you doing? Okay. We're skipping right along here, aren't we? Ms. Moody. Okay. You're next. Your next item, okay? We'll get you. Okay. All right. Mayor's Matters, Council's Accountability Review. It's actually nice. I figured I'd be talking to the camera with actually some people here, so that's actually better. So. As mayor, on behalf of council, I want to take a few minutes and discuss the previous year. And I've shared this with everyone up here, so this is not anything new. Everyone's in agreement with what I'm going to share. So as I've said often, this is a new council. And I mean that because although Councilperson McCauley and I are the only two actual new elected members, I believe citizens can see the excitement and a new vigor from each council member. We're all engaged and working together, which is exciting to me. Each of us up here realize that we got some votes due to our popularity. However, being popular does not mean you will be an effective leader on council. We all have seen communities where that is true. What matters at the end of the day is that we must hold ourselves accountable for what we do as elected officials. Our citizens deserve that from us. For the 7 of us, what is important is, have we done what we said we would do, or at least can you see the effort of us striving to accomplish what we said? This is not about bragging or patting ourselves on the back. This is about elected officials being held accountable to the community they represent. Our citizens should be pleased we are doing this because I can tell you some communities have a great staff. They're longing for leadership and to use their abilities, but their council is splintered and toxic. Some communities have a good council but don't have the abilities within their staff to make the vision happen. That's not so in North Augusta. We as a council are leading with a vision and focused goals, and we're holding ourselves accountable. And we have an amazing administration, directors, and staff that are talented and knowledgeable in their roles, and they are the ones who are taking these priorities and they're making it happen. We had a 90-day plan that centered around 3 main priorities: communication, downtown, and tourism. We never said we would do everything in 90 days, but it was a goal to see how many things could we at least get started in some form or fashion that we may be working on over the next year. So let's take a look at some of the highlights of those 3 priorities. Communication. This one was big and really set the tone for this year, and I believe is going to set the tone as we move forward. This priority was really about giving people a voice, an opportunity to share, an opportunity for us to listen to ensure we were transparent. A big part of that was changing the study sessions to off Monday nights from council meetings. This did 2 things. It gave council time to study and learn about topics and issues, as well as having directors give updates, which have been very helpful to us and I believe citizens as well. The second thing, and most important, it allowed us to once again give the agenda and supporting documents out in a week in advance of council meetings, so citizens had time to ask questions to council the week before. The other game changer was the Public Power Hour, a time each month for citizens to come in front of council in an informal setting to share issues. Again, a chance for us to listen. We had 20 citizens come forward to share with us over the last year. And just the one we just had before this meeting, we had 2 citizens that gave us amazing things that we needed to be aware of. So, very positive. The Citizen Involvement Form. We have had 18 submittals since this went live in September. Again, we have given folks a chance to get involved and take ownership of feeling like I'm helping make my community better. Just look at the large turnout at our first quarterly trash pickup at the Hamburg-Cartersville African American Heritage District. 2 citizens, Miss Basket and Miss Hooper, both filled out the form. They helped us promote it, and they participated in making it happen at that location. We had 4 Meet the Mayor events where myself and 2 council members rotated. We went to different areas of the city and met with citizens. The video vlog I've done periodically, which gives citizens highlights of what council has done and things that are going on in the community. Making the decision to move the police headquarters to Georgia Avenue was a really big decision, and we believe it was the right one. This will be a huge benefit for our community when it's done. We're never going to get agreement on every decision we make, but the one thing we could control, and we did, was we could listen and give citizens a chance to share their views. Whether they were good or bad, whether they accepted what we were doing, agreed or disagreed, we wanted to give them a chance, and we did. Citizens not only had 6 opportunities, but we actually took a number of the ideas and have put them into the design and development of the product. That's very positive. Let's talk about downtown. Critical as we move forward, it has to become a destination, a place to hang out. And as a carpet shop property is going to be developed, we will have a gateway connection between Riverside Village and the downtown, which will be a huge economy, would be huge for our economy. So here's some things. Council, we invested $70,000 in LED lighting, very environmentally conscious and cost effective. Council invested $30,000 in phase 1 into amenities. You can't revitalize a downtown without trash cans, park benches, or bike racks. We also got white crosswalks painted on the street and pylons on the Georgia Avenue and Pine Grove intersection. Is it perfect? No. Is it a start? Yes. We formed a mural review design committee, and now we have our first mural, and people are actually driving into our downtown to get a picture taken in front of it. We brought the trolleys back again on Third Thursday. People love the trolleys, especially grandchildren. And council went out on one of the Third Thursdays and met local merchants who were participating. We actually thanked them for their business. Little things make a difference to people. In tourism, we approved funding for a new tourism website, which we're really excited about going live in the near future. We approved hiring a new tourism director, and we gave citizens a chance to decide on a river event. And they voted on what the event was and what was going to participate with food, music, and race on the river. And that will be coming up in June. So understand, council's done a lot more than this, but I just wanted to give some specifics to the 3 main priorities that I had reviewed. I think you can look at the scorecard and see that we have made progress on what we said we would do. Can we do more? Yes. Can we do it better? Yes. However, we have set a good foundation for us to move forward into this year. Does the priorities change as we move forward? Absolutely not. Communication will always be ongoing. We have to look at the initiatives that have worked and see how do we make them work better. We also have to look for new ways to communicate, and we're going to be doing that. Downtown will always be ongoing. It's taken Greenville over 20 years to get their downtown the way it is now, and they're still working on it. What we want to do is lay the foundation for future councils and mayors to tweak and fine-tune what we're doing so it truly can become the heartbeat of our community. Tourism will always be ongoing. A website and tourism director was only the start. Now it's time to really go to work on tourism. In closing, we have a long way to go, but we have started off on the right foot. I thank you for your trust on behalf of City Council. Every citizen, we thank you for your trust. We don't take it lightly. In North Augusta, our future is so bright. All right, Ms. Moody, this is your time, administrative reports.
I have 3 updates for you
Okay.
tonight. Registration for Rockin' and Raftin', the river event the mayor just mentioned, is ongoing. You can register online on the city's website, and this is to register to participate in the event, rowing your kayak or raft or canoe or whatever pleases you. There will be no Board of Zoning Appeals meeting this month. It would have been scheduled for tomorrow, I believe. And mark your calendars, May 21st. It's a Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Household hazardous waste event. It's a drop-off event held in the parking lot at the Kroger on Knox Avenue. get there early because it's limited space. And I do believe in the past we've had to turn folks away because of either time or space limitations. So,
That's May the 21st?
yes, sir.
Okay, wow.
10 to 1. It's posted on the city's website, on the events, or pardon me, on the calendar, as well as the event listing. It's also been posted on Facebook as well. Yes, ma'am. They're a good partner with us. They've got a lot of space. And the traffic backs up. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item 9, presentations, communication, and recognition of visitors. This is citizen comments. At this time, citizens may speak to mayor and city council regarding matters not listed on the agenda. If you're interested, just give your name and name and address for the record. Okay, how about council? Anything for the good of the order from anybody? Mr. Eric?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, the trash pickup that we did, last Saturday, that was a great event. It was really opens your eyes as to, what can be done. I'm curious to see how many pounds of trash we picked up. Did anybody ever hear?
I meant to ask Michaela about.
How much was it? Oh, okay. But I mean, it was amazing just to see the community, and I mean, I know there had to be 100+ bags sitting there ready to be picked up. So I thought that was just a great event, well attended.
I know that
A lot of bottles.
the amount of stuff collected was more than the roll-off that we'd provided, and the partner who graciously donated another container and assisted us, we have made inquiry with him to find the total tonnage, pounds, et cetera. So we'll report back as soon as we know.
That was very tactfully done, Rachel. Very good. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to let everybody know that North Augusta Ford is going to be doing a downtown Spring Fest on May 21st.
I
So
didn't have that date. When's that?
May 21st, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Drop your hazardous waste off, then you come down to the festival. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, don't bring it downtown. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. We stand adjourned. Thank you.